In this video, I'll show you how to take these images we've been creating in Sketchbook and then opening them up in Pixlr to create a comic book. There will be three main steps to this. One, we'll be creating the first bulk of our comic, 6 panels. Then we'll be adding the text. And then we'll be adding that to another collage layout to give us a larger picture on the left side that we'll use for kind of an introduction. Pixlr comes in a couple different versions. We'll be using Pixlr Express. Pixlr Express is both for tablets and on computers. Simply go to pixlr.com or download the associated program on your tablet. The first step is to click on Collage. Then scroll through all the different layout possibilities that we can use for our comic strip. In this example, I'll create a 6-panel comic and then insert it into another 2-panel layout in order to have a more dynamic page. I'll go ahead and first start by selecting the 6-panel layout, and then I'll click on the plus button for the first frame. I'll go through and I'll find my picture I made. I'll do this for each frame until I have them all in there. Keep in mind, some of these frames will be tilted sideways or not zoomed in. I'm just going to go ahead and place all the pictures first, and then I'll show you how we can edit them. Now, these pictures aren't placed correctly in their frame. To change their positions on a tablet, just use your fingers to pinch to zoom in and out and pan them around. Notice these first two photos, though, are actually rotated incorrectly. To change those, I'll just simply tap on it and then click Edit. And then I'll go to the Adjustments, and under Adjustments I'll click on Rotate, and then I'll rotate it. Now I click Apply to apply the rotation, and then in the top right I click on the other Apply button to apply our edits to the photo. Now we can resize it and move it around. There we go. Once again, we have to do the same process to the second photo. Okay, our comic's looking ready now for some thought bubbles and text bubbles. To apply these, I'll first select a picture and then click on Edit. And then under Stickers, I'll select Comic. I'll scroll over until I find our thought bubble. Now, because no one's actually thinking in this photo, I just want to have kind of a statement, I'll just position the thought bubble so its tail is off of the picture. It's in the right position now, so I'll just tap the Apply button. Next, I'll select the text, and we can modify the text by once again pinching to zoom out, and we can rotate it. I'll select a different color. And then just by tapping on the text, I can edit it. Note, you'll always want to make sure your text is placed after you place the thought bubbles. This way, the thought bubble doesn't overlap the text. I'll just go ahead and type out my lines from the script I wrote up earlier. Now that our line's typed out, I might want to edit the text a little bit more. I'll go ahead and change its alignment, and then I'll resize it so it fits within our box. I'll go ahead and click on the Apply button now to apply the text changes. Then I'll click on Apply in the top right to apply all the changes we've done to the picture. Now notice how our text box isn't necessarily within our frame, so I'll just go ahead and move the picture over so we can read the text. The next 3 frames all use thought bubbles just like the first one, so I'll just go ahead and add those. Nothing new, same process. I'll just use a sticker to place one of the thought bubbles, and then text on top of the sticker. Now our next 2 frames have dialogue in them, so I'll add a speech bubble just like I did with a thought bubble. I'll first edit the sketch by selecting it and then clicking on Edit, and then I'll select Stickers, Comic, and I'll scroll over and find the appropriate speech bubble. Now notice there's no speech bubbles that have a tail coming off at the top of it. This is easily fixed just by turning it upside down. I'll go ahead and rotate it and modify its size. Then place it by clicking on the Apply button. And then I'll go ahead and add the text using the text tool. I'll go ahead and do the same process for the next frame. Alright, here's the completed first 6 frames of our comic strip. I'm going to go ahead and save them by clicking on the Share button in the top right, and then selecting the largest resolution. I'll do this in case I ever have to blow up our comic. It'll preserve its quality. Then I'll save it to my tablet. If you're using a computer, it'll save it to your hard drive. Next, I'll go back to the main Pixlr screen by clicking on Close, then I'll click on Collage again. Once more, I just want to show you how you can combine multiple styles of frames together. So we've made our 6-panel frame. Now I'm going to choose this layout, so the larger box on the right I can import the 6-panel frame to. And on the left I can add another photo of our main protagonist. So once again, I'll add our first picture by clicking on the plus button and then navigating to our picture. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and add our 6 other frames by navigating to the last picture we made and adding that. Now you notice that we're chopping off the top or bottom. We can adjust this by changing the proportions of our layout. I'll select Proportions, and then I'll select the Free button. And now I can drag this slider back and forth until I can get all of our 6 panels in. That looks pretty good, so I'll go ahead and add a text box to the first frame. Just like the other ones, I'll select it, click on Edit, then I'll just go ahead and add a sticker and some text to it. Now that it's compiled it into one single photo, we can also go ahead and add effects to the entire comic. If we wanted to make it look vintage or something like that, we could go ahead and do that. I'm just going to leave it as is because it looks really nice. Alrighty, so that's the finished comic. Once again, I'll save this by clicking on Share, and then I'll select the largest resolution. I'll save it to my tablet for later use for displaying or as a presentation piece or in a report.